up, guys? Welcome back to the Counteract podcast. My name is Allison Lind, and I'm the host of the Thursday People in NYC segment. Today, I'm coming to you guys with more of a fun, lighthearted, shorter episode, really just so we can get our brains off of all of the crazy, unprecedented cultural moments that we're having right now. I'm coming to you guys with the monthly report. The intention here is to just talk about some fun little lifestyle things that I've been enjoying, hopefully to give you recommendations and inspiration, and like I said, just get your mind off of all the heavy stuff. And obviously, the point is for this to be more from the conservative perspective. So I'm not going to be talking about the latest feminist poetry, but rather I will be telling you about, I don't know, more fun, interesting, cool things such as that. I'm also coming to you guys in my pajamas, and I'm not even ashamed of it. I just want to address the elephant in the room for those of you that watch YouTube. Yes, I'm in my pajamas because I'm a full-time working woman now, and I can come home from work and put my pajamas on. I don't got to go to class. I don't got to do homework. I don't have errands to run. I'm done with the day. So yeah, I'm in my pajamas and I'm doing my podcast episode for you guys. So that's that. Now I'm going to tell you about our amazing sponsors, Patriot Mobile. You know them. You love them. I'm sure you have just not been able to get enough of hearing about them, but somehow you still haven't switched to them. I'm not sure why, but if you need a reminder, I got you. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. They offer dependable nationwide coverage, giving you access to all three major networks, which means you get the same coverage you've been accustomed to, but you don't have to put your money towards causes you don't support. Instead, they put your money towards the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the sanctity of life, and our military veterans and first responder heroes. Their customer service team is also 100% US based, and they make it super easy to switch. You can keep your number, your phone, and your upgrade, and their team will help you find the best plan for your needs. All you have to do is go to patriotmobile.com/counteract or call 972-PATRIOT. You can get free activation when you use the code Counteract USA. Once again, that is patriotmobile.com/counteract or 972-PATRIOT. Join us and make the switch today. All right, friends, let's get into the episode. So for those that don't know what R.E.P.O.R.T stands for, it stands for reading, eating, playing, obsessing, recommending, and treating. And I'm just going to give you my fun little answers that I've been loving this month for all of these categories. The first one is reading. Am I still on the same Percy Jackson book that I talked about last report? Yes, because I can't even tell you why. Well, I can tell you why. I've had people staying in my apartment, and I've been a busy gram, and so I just haven't made time for reading like I should. And I'm also, I get this conviction where, like, I'm on the train, and I'm like, oh, I can read on the train, but then I'm also like, oh, I should read my Bible on the train instead. And so I've been doing that more, which obviously is so fruitful and, like, definitely the right decision, but I just got to figure out, like, how to balance my time of, like, being in the Word, but also having leisure time in, like, other books. And I know that the Lord doesn't, like, want us to feel obligated to read the Bible. Like, he wants us to do it because it fills our soul and it's, like, living and breathing and just teaches us more about him and improves our entire life, right? Like, he doesn't want it to feel like it's homework. And I know that. And I know that he also wants us to delight in things that are just fun, Like, he loves when we have fun. And not everything has to have this deep spiritual meaning all the time. Logically, I know this. But my heart is not quite there yet. And so all that to say, I'm figuring out the balance of reading my Bible and other, like, fictional type of non-Christian books. That being said, I've also found another fun reading resource that I've been subscribed to for a minute, but I'm really, really trying to, like, read and catch up on now. And that is the Epic Times, or you may have heard it called Epoch. I call it epoch in my head, but I think they actually, like, when you watch an ad from them, they pronounce it epic. but it's spelled E-P-O-C-H. And it's a newspaper. It's like one of the only remaining valid print newspapers that we have nowadays. I love them because of how well-rounded the like topics that they talk about are. Obviously, they get into like world, like current events. This one is from last week, Congress to probe Trump assassination attempt. We've also got some stuff about working class Ivy League. Oh yes, this is the announcement of JD Vance. We've got, foreign policy updates, all kinds of stuff. And it is not, well, I don't think it's a conservative newspaper. I think they try to report from a libertarian perspective. Like, I think they really do try to be as unbiased as possible, because they have other things in here too. They have Democratic Party plans to nominate Biden by end of July, and these are the things that they've just like heard from people. Obviously we know that's not true now, but when this came out, you can only keep up so fast with print newspaper. So yeah, they have current world events from a more like unbiased perspective. They're not going to, come out here and say that like Trump is Hitler. They're just going to report on the man. And same with Biden. There's no slander going on, is what I'm trying to say. But they also have what I've really been loving, and maybe this is just silly old little girl me, but they have like a mindset, a health. Oh, here we go. Their tagline is truth, tradition, and hope. And so they have all of that. They've got the truth, meaning the news, but they've also got tradition, and they do everything from like relationships. They talk a lot about the family and like, family science, like how like roughhousing was an article topic recently, and just statistics about like screen time and spending time with your family and how to have like healthier relationships. And I love this because it's still rooted in tradition. And so they're not going to give me some crazy advice like, you wear the pants in the relationship, girl. Your guy just wants you to take the reins. It's like, no, this is like more scientifically based than that. It's not going to like promote a worldview on top of, your reading, I guess. Is that what I'm trying to say? They also talk a lot about different like health and wellness living type of things, and it's really interesting to read. And yeah, I find a lot of fun information through the Epoch Times, and it feels so nice to have a paper newspaper. I feel so classy. It's a little hard to read on the train because it's so big, but it's nice to just carry a little snippet, 1 or 2 pages in my bag, and throughout the week I get through the whole paper, and it's just really nice reading. And it even helps me relate to others on a deeper level. Like, I can keep up with worldly events better than I feel like I do on my phone, because on my phone, it's like I'll read an article and then I'll like get an Instagram notification, and then I click on the notification, and then suddenly I'm answering the notification, but then I'm scrolling through Reels, and suddenly I've been on Reels for an hour and I've been rotting in my bed the whole time, and that's just not productive. This gets my head out of my screen, and it gets me into the real world. And so I've really been enjoying reading this. It's slightly pricey as a subscription, but so far I have found it to be worth it. And it hasn't really, like, I haven't noticed the hurt in my bank account for the amount of like fruit that it produces, if that makes sense. So it's very worth it to me. And this is, yeah, I've been enjoying it, and it's a good priority of mine personally. I'm happy to be investing my money into this. So that's what I've been reading, aside from Percy Jackson, and also the Bible. Lately, I've been grounded in Hosea and Isaiah, and just really, I've been in the prophets for a long time. So I've just been loving the prophets and how much wisdom and like the love of God for his people is revealed so poetically through the prophets. So yeah, I've been loving reading that. It's really changed like my relationship with God over the past, few months. Yeah, and that's what I've been reading. Next category is eating. And I really thought back on this because, to be honest, I have not been to the grocery store since I got back from Scandinavia, which is really bad. That was a month ago. But I got back, and the thing about my job that's honestly a blessing is that I live there part-time. And so like I got back and basically immediately had to work like 3 days in a row. So I was like, I'm not going to buy groceries because I'm just going to go live in the home, and groceries are already provided there. Or I would like bring groceries to the home to make stuff there. So I'm not buying them from my apartment. And that just kind of kept happening. Like I was like, oh, I'll get groceries tomorrow. Like I'm good. I'm vibing. I'm living off of what I got. And then I had some parkour friends come stay with me, and they bought food, and so I would just live off of that. And then now my friend Ash is in town, and like she's been like I've been, the Lord is providing. I have not had to go buy groceries, which is a huge blessing. But that being said, like I've kind of just been eating what I can get, trying to eat well and healthy, obviously, but like just eating what is provided to me, truly. A lot of what that has been like good Caribbean food, or like some fried fish, fried chicken kind of moments, especially at work because we do community dinners, and a lot of those moms, like, they know how to cook. So when it's their night to cook, they show up with like a lot of different cultural foods that I normally probably wouldn't make for myself. And so that's been really good. Especially recently, I wasn't at work actually. I was on like a little parkour like ad shoot, which hopefully I will release soon as it gets released. But it's like low key confidential. I'm just kidding, guys. It's really not that big of a deal, but I cannot talk about it. So the cast and crew, they got us like really good Caribbean food because we were up in like the very tippy top of Harlem, and that food was so good. And I just remember eating it and being like, it wasn't really anything new to me, but I was just like, wow, like God is so good. Like I'm so blessed right now to be eating good, authentic Caribbean food. And that is just such a privilege that not everyone in the world has. Like we don't all have access to like different cultures and different cultural cuisines. So that's what I've been loving lately, is like especially Caribbean food, but really just like different kinds of authentic cultural ethnic food. I've also been, and this isn't really a food, I guess it's a superfood. I've been eating sea moss gel like in my smoothies, and I tried it in my coffee recently, but it did not dissolve well, and so I was basically drinking little chunks of like gel, which sounds so disgusting to say to you guys, but it's basically like the gel that is stripped off of seaweed and sea moss, and then you wash it and you clean it, and then what remains is this like superfood, this literal like gel. I'm trying to think of what I can like relate it to, but it's just a gel, but it's like edible. It's like straight from the ocean, and it's packed full of nutrients. It's really good for your gut microbiome. It also dissolves. The reason I got it is because it dissolves mucus, and I just have chronic sinus issues for some freaking reason. And I got a sea moss drink. This is what started the craze. I got a sea moss drink, and my nose was not stuffy for the rest of the day. Like I didn't even have like, even now I have like a little bit of like mucus back there, which is totally TMI, but come on, we're friends, right? So yeah, that was gone for the day, and it was like really nice. And I was like, I can't believe that actually worked with just like one drink a day. So I bought myself some sea moss gel, and I've been trying to have that daily just to, keep myself in check, especially because I'm not eating like consistently and well-rounded, and I just want to make sure that my gut health and everything is on track. So sea moss gel, if you can find it, it doesn't taste like anything. It's really just a consistency thing that would be the problem, but I don't mind it, and in a smoothie you can't even tell. So that's been good. Next category is playing. Obviously, I'm always doing parkour. I take my skateboard out when I can now, as per last month's report. But also, I have been surfing lately, which just feels so like of course, like that's the next vein that I would veer into, I guess, as far as my athletic interests go. But I've been loving it. It's so, honestly, I love it because it is just such a great way to connect with God and his creation. You know, with skateboarding and even parkour, like you have people to talk to, you have your headphones in, and you can have music and a podcast and whatever playing, and you're always like distracted by something. Like you can like multitask as far as your mental goes. But with surfing, you can't take your earbuds or your headphones into the water, and talking to people in the lineup, like you can do it, but it's hard. And obviously, you're focusing on the ocean in front of you and the waves coming in, and so like you can't get too far in a conversation because if your homie catches a wave, you got to let him catch the wave. So, and I've also been doing it alone anyway, so I go out there, I don't know anyone, and it's been so nice to just sit in the water on a board and like be at the mercy of God's creation, basically. Like you just look out on the horizon and you think like this is the vastness of what the Lord has done. And like the ocean is living and breathing, and like he created that and he's in control of it. And even if you look at the beach, like he knows every grain of sand on that beach. And how could a God be so vast and yet want such a personal relationship with me? And so that's been that's been why I've been loving surfing lately. And it really all started when I like went to the beach in France with my family, which sounds so posh to say, but truly like God did something at this one beach that we went to. I just swam for like probably an hour or two straight because the water was clear and there was a reef, and so I could just go under and like look at all these fish swimming around me, and I could explore. And like there was this area that dropped off below the reef, and I would like swim down to the bottom and like touch the sand and like see how far I could get at that like level underwater. And I just felt like I had reconnected with a part of myself and with God that in a way that I just hadn't had maybe ever, but especially in a long time because I grew up swimming. And yeah, I felt like I was me again, and it was like this really beautiful like awakening that I had. And so I've just been fiending for the water like everywhere that I've been. So when I went to Scandinavia, in Norway and Sweden, you can just like get in the water pretty much anywhere. As long as you're respecting nature, you can go wherever you want. So I was jumping in the water almost every day, like down by like the Opera House, which it would be the equivalent of like Battery Park or something for New York, except the water wasn't polluted. So you can jump in the water. Here, you would probably get like a radioactive disease or at least tetanus if you jumped into the Hudson. But I could do that in Scandinavia. And so now I've been going out to Rockaway Beach, and they have good surfing there, and they have a really lovely little surf culture. And it's been nice to kind of dive into something new and playful to get my mind off of skateboard or off of parkour, because skateboarding like was the start of that, but I actually like started skateboarding because I knew it would help me become better at parkour. And I've also found it to be a really fun mode of transportation. But now surfing is like I literally have to go out of my way and be really bad at it. And I love it. And it's just so playful, and I feel like I can breathe again. And so that's what I've been playing with lately is surfing, on top obviously of parkour. Obsessing kind of just goes right back into surfing. I've been obsessed with the beach, like literally thinking about it every day. Like, oh, I can't wait to get in some water. So I've been going to the beach as much as I can. I think I've been like at least once a week so far since I got back from all my travels. And even then, just loving the water, loving walking by the water. I'm just like a fiend for water now, I guess. So that's what I've been obsessing over. Yeah. Get out and get by a body of water, guys. It's so calming, and like we're made for this. Like we are like water. I mean, there's a reason water is depicted as like a source of life in the Bible, because it is. So get to some water. That's my obsession. Recommendation. What am I going to recommend to you guys this month? I had a long, hard think about this because really I would recommend all of this stuff to you. I'd recommend Epic Times. I'd recommend sea moss, Caribbean food if you can find it, depending on where you live. Surfing if you're feeling brave. The beach if you have access. But one thing that I did recently with my friend that I think is really fun and that I would recommend is, so like my friend and I, this like worked for us specifically because she went on contract. And so we didn't talk for like 4 months, or she wasn't in the city for 4 months, but we decided that we would only kind of have minimal communication. And it naturally happened that way anyway, because we were both so busy. But we decided, let's not tell each other like super big important events, and let's actually put it in a PowerPoint so that when we come back together, we will present the PowerPoint to our friend and give them the whole life update for however long we didn't talk. And that was so fun. You know, we went out to Central Park, we had some food, we brought a bottle of wine, and we presented our PowerPoints. And it was just a really fun, like, bonding activity. Obviously super funny, like lots of laughs in there, because there's something about like presenting something in hindsight that even if it was like a bad situation, you can tell it with like some sort of joy or humor. So that's what I recommend to you guys. If you have a long distance friend or someone you don't see super often, you should plan a date to do a PowerPoint about your life over the past however many months that you want to do it. It's a really fun activity, and it also forces you to be creative and look back on your life and the things that, you know, God has done for the Christians out there, the things that God has done in your life. We very easily forget things that happened even like 2 months ago. Like what the Lord was revealing to me then is so different from what he's doing now. But I'm so like wrapped up in the now that I forget all these amazing ways that he's moved, and these cool people that I've met, and these cool events that have happened that I don't want to forget. And so it's a really fun, wholesome experience. And that's what I would recommend to you guys. Now we're on our last topic of the report, and that is treating. What am I treating myself to? I literally cannot tell you, because every day is a treat for me. Like, I cannot believe I live the life that I live. And I'm not trying to say this to like brag to you guys. I'm really not. But like, the Lord has just put me in places where I'm like, what more could I want? Like, I actually want less stuff. Like, I don't want to be like, my treat is like not treating myself and just enjoying the moment and the experiences that I'm living. So like, I went to work today, and it's literally my job to like love and serve and celebrate these moms who have found themselves in a predicament. And like, that's my job. Like, today I grilled for the first time, and I made some baked mac and cheese. We made some snacks and like some soul food to celebrate one of the mom's birthdays. And that was such a treat. Like, to have the body of Christ around me, and we're all like working on this mission to celebrate this mom, just because we should and we can, and the Bible commands us to. Name another like occupation that would like mandate celebration and maintaining a spirit of celebration and service towards others. Like, what a freaking treat. That's where I've been at with my life lately, is like every day is just a treat. And I feel like it's just so full right now. And I know that this season won't last super long, and that's why I'm like trying to live in it as hard as I can, and truly to practice the spirit of celebration for everything in my life. For the fact that I'm out of school, the fact that I can come home and do a podcast in my pajamas and talk about my monthly report. What a privilege that is. So maybe that's a cop-out answer. I will say, this pajama set is new. I did treat myself to this pajama set, and I really like it, and I know I'm going to have it for years. So that was a treat. But besides that, every day is a treat, and I've been really actually wanting less things aside from this new pajama set. So yeah, that's my monthly report, guys. I hope you didn't find this just totally boring. I don't know if it's like fun for you guys to listen to me talk about my life, but I have fun doing it, because like I want all my friends to do these things with me, so we can talk about it and connect. Especially for those of you that don't live in New York City, we can connect overline. We can connect online, over the internet, and just have something that we share. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please let me know if you try any of these things out. You can reach me on Instagram. It'll be linked in the show notes below. Or obviously the Counteract USA Instagram account. You can always reach out for anything there. Trying to start a cell group, you need community or support or questions about anything, or to sign up for our conference that's on September 13th. You guys should be there. It's going to be a big deal. I believe we have Allie Beth Stuckey speaking, and who else? Actually, I don't know who all they've announced yet, so I'm just going to stop at Allie Beth Stuckey because I know they've announced her. Some good speakers, guys. Be there or be square. Go to the Counteract USA Instagram account for all of that information. And yeah, without further ado, I'll end the episode. Next week, tune in for a super special guest. I am so excited. We will be interviewing Maggie Butera. If you don't know about her, she did a controversial photo shoot while she was at school last fall where she did it with Chloe Cole, the popular detransitioner that everyone knows. She's the face of the detransition movement, and she did this photo shoot and like got totally blasted online by her school, and it was just a lot of stuff happened coming out of that. And she's a super interesting creative mind, and so I had the honor of sitting down with her and picking her brain on all things creativity, going through college with dissenting views, worldview shifts, what she wants to see from the conservative movement in the future, all of that. It's such a juicy conversation, so stay tuned. Do not miss this episode next week. It is going to be a good one. So yeah, I'm going to end this episode now so you guys can get there sooner. See you next week. Love you guys so much. Okay, bye.